As Christians, we are immune to the devil's power. That is true, but that doesn't mean that the devil can influence us or tempt us into sin. We may be immune to the devil's ultimate power on us, on condemning us, on our souls, in that he has no power over our eternal destination, and that we have the true power to fight him with the word of God. But we can still fall into sin and be tempted by the devil. In Rainbow Rocks, even though the main 7 were immune to the dark magic of the Dazzlings, over time, they started to let little things get to them, and they started arguing a bit here and there, and disagreeing about things. But instead of working together through these arguments, and walking in patience, love, grace, and forgiveness with each other, they just refused to talk about it, or address the problems, or handle their disagreements, which only leads to them having a big argument near the end of the movie, where they too start to feed on the Dazzling's power, just as the arguing and hatred from the rest of the students of Candle High feeded the Sirens and made them more powerful. They still have the magic of friendship inside them, living in them, but they have fallen into sin and are now being used by the enemy. This is also how we Christians can be when we fall into sin. We can let little things get to us, whether it's being annoyed at people or letting a small temptation dwell inside us. And if we don't bring those thoughts, those feelings, or temptations directly to God at the start, it can bottle up and turn into something evil and make us fall into sin. In Rainbow Rocks, the main 6 are trying to defeat the Dazzlings without the magic of friendship, because they were fighting all the time. They were trying to practice their song to defeat the Dazzlings, but because they wanted harmony with each other, and they weren't living in the power of the magic of friendship, the rehearsal song fell flat and sounded terrible. Life with Christ means living in harmony with others. If we say that we love God, but are always arguing with people and hating one another, that shows that we don't love God or walk in his ways. 1 John 4:20-21 says this: "Whoever claims to love God, yet hates a brother or sister, is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister whom they have seen cannot love God, whom they have not seen. And he has given us this command: anyone who loves God must also love their brother and sister." But still, there is grace and forgiveness in God. If we have received Jesus into our lives, then we have the power to fight sin and the chains, and to kill our sin, and to live in a new life with God, where we are fully trusting in God's ways, not in our own ways.